Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of Beyond the Bid. Today we have the honor of having both Simon Benner and Simona Perardini on. And what we're going to be talking about today, what is going on with the content creation industry and how important it is to create content and to be competitive even. And that refers both to ourselves as agencies and also for clients. I guess let's start with clients. We can focus in about ourselves a little later. Simona, I know we were working on a few new clients and thinking about how difficult it is to get good assets and how AI, I guess, is changing the landscape of being able to produce this at scale. Maybe not necessarily the best quality, but at least at scale, something that companies didn't have the ability to do before. That gives advertisers like us to try and test and build and create value on channels like Meta ads, LinkedIn ads, etc.
Yeah. From my point of view, I mean, the reason why this topic is important is because I personally follow an account, like a marketplace in UK that resell travel luggages, that resells fitness equipment as well, and we look after Meta, right? So I personally follow this client, and we over time we managed to get much better video content and image content to use on Meta, and that really made the difference, bringing the cost per acquisition down by several percentage points simply by having better assets. That's why for me is that important, right? There are a few issues that are related to this. Like the first one, difficult. People say, yeah, we need better creatives, but when they're asked, so what type of creative do you need? Like I'm not a creative person, so I'd be like, oh, to be fair with you, I don't know. I know that I need a better creative, but what I need, I don't really know it. And whenever you use AI, you need to be telling the system what you need. So you need to be like a creative person. And then the other difficulty is getting the videos, the video editing, so the technical skills. So it's like video editing, image editing, all of this. Like AI can create an image, but then you need to edit it. So there are a few problems that revolves around creating good content. And so to be fair with you, with this company in this marketplace, they have a creative team, and we provide them with briefs about what we need. But for example, today we encountered a problem because we were doing a competitor analysis, and we realized that a company in Italy used Meta really in a nice way, with creative and fun images. And then we asked these designers to create something similar, and then they created something that is not creative at all. So we realized that the problem was with the brief. So how do we communicate what we need, and how can we and where we find that the inspiration about what we need? So it's definitely a problem which I don't know how to get around.
Okay.
If they ask me, so what is it you need? I was like
I
something
do
similar to the
feel
competitors.
I do feel as well there's still this kind of deep-seated, not resentment, but maybe blasé approach to social and content creation in that, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or a bit more now, it was kind of optional. If a business wants to grow, Meta was there in a way, but you didn't have to do it. And I think nowadays, if you're serious about growing a business, it's mandatory. You just absolutely have to do it. For me, it's that kind of thing to say, well, when it comes to Google ads, if a business is spending, I don't know, 10 grand, 20 grand, maybe more a month on Google ads, would you just choose not to have a look at the account or not to manage the account for a month because you're too busy doing other things? No one in their right mind is going to say, yes, that's fine. We're just going to go and let it spend and let it drift and do. Businesses to understand that the same mentality has to be applied to social now. It has to be rigorously done. We have similar challenges with our pools of clients where I wouldn't say there's a disinterest, but it's more down to a lot of the team don't want to have their faces still and on videos. But it doesn't necessarily mean that someone from admin or warehouse or whatever that basically didn't sign up to that job. Yeah, it doesn't have to do it. The other piece with that I think you touched on, Simone, is the creation, and it's the velocity. I think TikTok needs something like 3 posts a day or so.
3 posts a day. Well,
If you're excluding weekends, you're looking at 60 pieces of content a month, every month, and it can feel pretty daunting.
And if we get like a 2 or 3 new videos a month, is already a lot, right? Because like creating a video is effort, is money, is time, is an investment. Like creating content is an investment. And there is too much of a hype around AI, but like these AI things, they won't replace like people filming themselves.
not yet. Well, when anytime I've looked at how to do creative, because I like you, Simone, I'm not a creative type. I prefer the numbers, I prefer the stats, I prefer the percentages. I don't like looking at whether color should be green or blue. That honestly does, so long as it's within the color palette of the brand. That said, anytime that I would run competitive meta ads, the first place I would start is looking at what the competitors are doing, and then looking at, okay, is there what do we like that this company that we're working with fits the brand, and then is there a position, much like offer analysis, like when you're looking at what other offers are running comparative to the client account that you're running, and then you basically go back and tell them, hey, we need to get more aggressive because these guys are running 10% off for all this product category, but we're running a 5, so they are way cheaper, so we're not going to get sales. Same thing I feel you could kind of do with meta advertising, where it's like, okay, let's look at what they have. Is there something that we could do that's different? Is there something we can do that's similar but better? Whatever that, gets you to. You can then essentially maybe take some assets, even the competitor assets, put it into an AI platform and see what comes out. I will say that 80 to 90% I'm sure is going to be crap, but at least for the purposes of clients who have a lack of assets, it can still give them a pretty big upfoot. That's not the English word I'm looking for. An advantage. Let's call it an advantage over their competitors to get onto social, is what I would say.
Yeah, but I mean, mimicking the competitors is an option. Is always an option, right? But here, mimicking the competitors, like it means that you have someone who's
To mimic.
to create this content internally. Internally with Catherine, some time ago we tried creating like an image using Midjourney, and it took her like an hour to get a good image to use. So it's way too much, right? It's way too long.
An hour, really?
So yeah, it's scaling this part without investing
It's difficult.
is a real challenge. Nonetheless, is needed. Like as Simon was saying, you have TikTok. You need the 60 pieces of content a month just to basically meet the minimum standards. The other day we were talking about the importance of advertising on multiple channels and the issue that arise with AI in marketing, etc. Right? And we're talking about how is important to be on TikTok, how is important to be on LinkedIn, how is important to be on Instagram, and all these channels. And it's all about content, right?
Yeah.
So content is not going to be less important of time. It's going to be more and more important. Here is is money and investment, right? Is it something that we need to try and incorporate into the fees we pay or the fees we receive, or is it something that we actually should try and be like, okay, look, this is a proper investment that you need to make? It's a real challenge.
I feel like if you're having that kind of conversation, if you're talking to a client with not a small one, shall we say, then I think it's like, hey, look, you want this to be successful, then you're going to need to invest it if we're to get you the results that you're expecting. Sell my business. It's like, okay, do you even know the price of your product? No, but you got to sell it. Okay. Well, nothing's going to go anywhere. It's like, advertise me on paid social. Okay, cool. Do you have good assets? No. All right, go get them.
Suppose the other side as well is, say, you could always leverage FOMO in terms of getting people on board, because if there's a hesitancy to be on social channels, it's like, okay, that's great, but here's 5 competitors that, and
they're doing a really good job.
Exactly that. So there's always that kind of card to play, I suppose, albeit it'd probably be the last one in the deck that we want to use to drag them.
Well, hey, it could always start with, we're doing competitor research. This is what the picture looks. You're not in it.
Yeah.
I'm being blunt, of course, but But I agree. I mean, like Simona, you were saying with omni-channel approaches, and even like going back to a few of our other calls, the validity of marketing efficiency ratio and looking at lifts rather than platform values, I think is going to be more and more important as people expand.
I'm going to say the other piece, of course, from a content creation perspective, is with some of our clients that sell branded products or they have certain seasons and things like that, but generally the SKUs don't change, is that it's okay to recycle content. It's going to be like the analogy of launching a rocket ship. There's a whole ton of effort and energy that has to go in at that. You know, when you get into out of the atmosphere, you just nudge it along and things like that. So I think there's definitely a piece. I suppose it comes to expectation setting in that it's going to be hard and it's graft at the start. But if you do this for 3 months, we could have 6 months or 9 months worth of content, because by the time we get to the third month, we're ready to recycle that first month's content back in. So the demand drops there in terms of editing and all the other bits.
Yeah. But I can see it from a client point. So they say, okay, look, we're going to create content because we need it as a business. Well, it's a big investment, isn't it? You need, like, if you don't have someone in house, you need to hire someone, even if it like is a freelancer. You need to hire someone, and like personally, I go in touch with. I don't know how many freelancers. Like I don't know how many designers, and they're not cheap. Like creation is something that costs money because there's a lot of manpower, man hours that go into image creation, editing, etc. So I wouldn't be surprised if from a business point of view, this means like an investment in people. Like if you want someone full time, I wouldn't be surprised if it costs you like 2,000, 3,000 a month. Not to have someone really skilled, but to have someone that can do the job.
That's decent, yeah.
That's a big investment, right? And AI is not going to fill this gap. It's definitely not going to fill this gap.
Well, I think with AI,
my concern really is like this investment that is needed for the content. It's something that needs to be discussed with the client. It's not something you can be like, hey, look, we're going to do some organic social for you. Do you have the content? No. Okay, well, we create it. But you cannot incorporate it in the fee because that's money.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, with all things AI and not just image creation, but I think the output is only as good as the input. So putting crap inputs into it, it's not going to necessarily produce something of value. But if you have good content, I'm pretty sure it could leverage something good using something good.
Just thinking the developer approach here is probably just to write a script, connect to an API, and get it to churn out 3,000 images overnight, and then it'll progressively get better.
That would be my approach, to be fair. But like,
Yeah.
maybe it's not the right
Volume.
one. Like, that would be my approach. Okay, go for quantity.
Quantity. We'll find the quality.
Yes. We'll find the quality at some point, but it's difficult.
I mean, I'll be even like honest. Like when I first got into paid media, I was like, I am never doing anything with creative. Fuck that. But now it's like you don't have a choice. You cut it. You have to get into it because so much of it is now media based.
No, but yeah, for real, this business, like this marketplace in UK that I was talking about, with the better content mix of images and videos, like the performance has improved. So, but like the targeting same, the settings stay the same. We just serve better content. And most interestingly, that we have a lot of videos where women are presenting the products, because for some reason, most of the influencers, like where they agree to present your products, are women for some reason. But we have a few videos with men. Right. Anyway, not a short to.
I'm totally shorting this. And I'll be like.
I lost my train of thoughts. No, what I was saying is that, yeah, we have a lot of videos showcasing women, but we have some videos showcasing men as well. And if you look at the performance distribution, like men buy from people where men is presenting the product, and women buy from videos where women are presenting the products. There's not me being.
This is statistics.
Yeah, this is the numbers, right? So it's like there is another problem about this content. Is like, okay, you create some content, and then you probably need to create more content just to appeal to a wider audience. So in this case, we have men and women, but then you may have like interests and stuff. So really, my concern all revolves on the cost of creating all of this.
Ability.
Yeah, I think the other side of it as well is that it is expensive, but because it's a new channel. It's not a new channel. I think it's still definitely in the sphere of probably even similar to SEO, where there's a lot of people out there that are way overcharging because they know that they can. And there's a danger here where if a client has had a poor experience in the past, to push and promote path, even though you're telling that I'm, going to do a better job basically and be more efficient and you can trust me, there's still going to have that suspicion there until you actually demonstrate that you're doing call it a proper job.
Proof is in the pudding, as they like to say at the sales stage.
Yeah, but it comes with a cost. That's exactly the thing, and the cost is variable.
I agree. I mean, I've had questions like that come through, and it's always like, look, first of all, we don't know what it'll turn out until we run it because there's so many variables. B, we don't sell on performance, we sell on experience and time. That seems to help. It's like, okay, yeah, you can go get a designer from India, whatever. It's probably not going to give you the best quality of content that you can produce. You don't feel like paying US prices. You don't know the industry. It's difficult. Plus, add the whole post-COVID thing. It's like, I don't know, every third person became a digital professional over 2 weeks. That doesn't help our industry either. So
no, especially when you've got the ones doing that are then selling courses to other people, and you just think, God. Oh no.
Yeah, the courses. Oh man, I've seen some fun courses. It's like, I know how to do this, that, and the other. Like, well, actually, no, you don't. Why are you selling this? Why are people buying this? That's another thing. It's like, say something with enough conviction and confidence that people won't question you.
So you become an authority.
Yeah. Well, speaking of our content and becoming authorities in our industry using this platform, the client could always start a podcast talking about their products and stuff.
There we go.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, it's I suppose the reality is it's half an hour twice a month, and it does kick back a decent number of shorts and things like that. From a perspective, even for our clients, is that you need a month worth of content, and rather than them kind of pulling their hair out, I say, well, it's a month's worth of content, but all it's going to take is 2 1-hour sessions a week. And if you really kind of buckle down and focus and chew through it, basically, don't dick around, and you'll be able to do it.
Yeah, consistency, like anything in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even with us, like we're running remote agencies. There's not really that much exciting stuff that we do other than maybe talking. Like, so it's like, think about how can you get creative, because nobody really cares about a Google Ads account or the numbers. They just want to know they made more money, like more effectively than they did last year, last month, whatever. So yeah, like way would be get creative with free platforms like Riverside. Then get pissed off with the functionality and pay for the pro version. Anything else you guys want to add? Or should I close up shop? I know we said we were going to do 15. We're at 21.
I think we're good. I think it was a good challenge, to be honest. And these podcasts aren't always going to provide the answers immediately off of one discussion, I think, but it's definitely good to get the problems out in the open. And you never know. You might have someone comment with their own experiences and just give some feedback. So.
Definitely. Well, I guess on that wonderful final note, let's conclude. Conclusions are content. Well, I wanted to say king, but almost necessary to compete in today's marketplace, be it if you're a service business, product business. Everyone is absorbing content at a ridiculous level. I guess think of creative ways to do it so it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. If you're not sure, ask a professional and then ask 3 more. And stay cool with your content. All right, guys. Well, thank you for another episode of Beyond the Bid. And this has been fun, and we will see you next week.
Thanks again, everyone.